But he has headphones on.
He says he's not sound checking. Keep singing, ignore me. It's been a long, dark night. I've been waiting for the morning. It's been a long, hard fight. But I can see a brand new day dawning. I've been looking for the sun.
like it's the equinox. Good morning. Woo! Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Chattanooga. I am Reverend Mandy. My pronouns are she, her, and Mom, don't. But I answer to Mom quite frequently. Welcome, whatever brought you here today. I'm so excited to see new faces and people reconnecting with this amazing place of shared ministry. No matter what brought you here, no matter how many times you've come here, and if you've never been here, whether you're in this space or online, you are welcome into our community of caring and covenant today. You are welcome in this space to bring your authentic self and to explore your beliefs and connect to people and ideas in ways that bring us this bright, beautiful morning. Our chalice lighting today, Z is going to come up and light our chalice, and the words are on our screen, so please join me in the chalice lighting words as soon as we get trucked up there. You got it, come on. You're all right. We got it. How do you think I feel when I have to get up in the morning? Yeah, okay. I forgot to light the starter candle, see? Uh-oh. There we go. Please join me. In the light of truth, in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Our opening song is number 38 in the gray hymnal. The words will be on the screen as well. It is a song that they played at my and my husband's wedding. So it's always a sweet little song for me to hear. Selena, anything? Got it? All right. Greet your neighbors and smile.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's dew fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Thank you, and please be seated. And now it's time for our story for all ages, and this is a oldie but goodie, and it's called the Daffodil Principle. Does anyone want to come up here with me and listen? Come on up. Young and young at heart. If you're sitting in the front row, you already have an advantage. Okay, look at that field of daffodils. Pretty amazing. So once upon a time, there was a mother and a daughter. Do you know that happens? Weird, right? And here's what was going on. The daughter wanted to go to this lovely daffodil field, and the mom was dragging her feet. And she's like, I don't know if I want to go. I guess. Finally, the daughter convinces the mom to get in the car. And they drive and drive and drive down an old country lane to this little white church. And they see a sign when they get there, and it says Daffodil Garden. So daffodils are a springtime flower. They're kind of wearing out. They've already bloomed around here. We're almost to our next phase of flowers. So what happened when they came around the corner and through the woods? The whole field opened up, and it was covered with daffodils, just like that picture. Can you imagine wandering across there? You might sneeze a little bit, but I think that would be a pretty amazing thing. The daughter pointed out there was a little A-frame house, which is a little triangle house at the back of the property, and that was where the woman lived who had planted every single one of those daffodils. And when they walked up to her house, there was a little sign there, and it says, "Answers to the questions I know you're asking." It was a headline. And the first answer was a simple one: 50,000 bulbs. 50,000 daffodil bulbs, okay? The second answer was one at a time by one woman. 2 hands, 2 feet, and 1 brain. The third answer was began in 1959. And the mother reflects on this, and she said, "For me, it was a life-changing experience. I thought of the woman whom I had never met, who more than 40 years before had begun one bulb at a time to bring her vision of beauty and joy to an obscure mountaintop. Planting one bulb at a time year after year, this unknown woman had forever changed the world in which she lived. One day at a time, she created something extraordinary and magnificent, beauty and inspiration. The principle of celebration, that is, learning to move towards our goals and desires one step at a time. Just one baby step at a time, learning to love the doing." So she loved the work, planting, digging in the dirt and planting the daffodils. Learning to use the accumulation of time. When we multiply tiny pieces of time with small elements of daily effort, we too will find we can accomplish magnificent things. We can change the world. But the mother felt sad. What I might have accomplished if I had thought of the wonderful goal 35 years or 40 years ago and had worked away at it one bulb at a time through all those years. Just think what I might have been able to achieve. Her daughter summed up the message of the day in her usual direct way and said, "You could start tomorrow." She was right. It's pointless to think of all our wasted time and lost hours of yesterday. The way to make learning a lesson of celebration instead of a cause of regret is to only ask, how can I put this one day to use? So, who gets the moral of the story, or what the story's about? The flowers, but hard work takes a long time. The other thing I heard that I think is really important, and we did some of this last night, is that we celebrate what we accomplish, and we feel proud of ourselves, and we don't let the idea that we're discouraged keep us from trying again tomorrow. So you all can do anything one day at a time, and you have this community around you to help you and be there with you. And that's the end of the story. Ready for religious education? Gonna go downstairs? Yes, yes. I know that was a wonder. I know you're ready to learn and grow one day at a time. Please join me in singing our young'uns out.
Go your way in peace. Wander as you may. Blessed is the path you take. May love guide you on your way. and I can see a brand new day dawning. I've been looking for the sunshine, 'cause I ain't seen it in so long. Everything's gonna work out just fine. Everything's gonna be alright. That's been all wrong. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. It's been a long, long time since I've known the taste of freedom and those clinging vines. Held me bound, but I don't need them. Ooh, I've been like a captured eagle. Ooh, you know eagles born to fly. Ooh, now that I've won my freedom, like an eagle, I am eager for the sky. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. Amen.
Oh my goodness. I wanted that to get us into the space of worship, but hello, thank you so much. This is a time in our service where you're invited to come forward to light a candle for your joys or your concerns, or just something that happened that got on your nerves this week, quite frankly. Something that made you smile, something you saw that moved your heart. As you come forward to light a candle, think about the space of love and acceptance that holds you here today and holds and welcomes your hearts to come forward. And now I will light a candle for all the joys and concerns folks both in this room and at home are holding in their hearts. Blessings upon all that you've shared, unspoken, reflected in flame, surrounding us like the sun, bringing us light, and representing that we are loved. We are loved if no place else in this space, in this time. Our prayer today is a poem. It's a poem that you might not expect me to read. Not yet. That's kind of drama next. I was making sure that didn't happen. It's called The Dark Night of the Soul by St. John of the Cross. On a dark night, kindled in love with yearning, oh, happy chance, I went forth without being observed, my house being now at rest. In darkness and secure by the secret ladder, disguised, oh, happy chance. In darkness and concealment, my house being now at rest. This light guided me more surely than the light of noonday to the place where he, well I knew who, was awaiting me, a place where no one appeared. O night that guided me, O night more lovely than dawn, O night that joined beloved with lover, love transformed in the beloved. Upon my flowery breast, kept whole for himself alone, there he stayed sleeping, and I caressed him, and the fanning of cedars made a breeze. The breeze blew from the turret as I parted his locks. With gentle hand he wound my neck and caused my senses to be suspended. I remained lost in oblivion, my face reclined on the beloved. All ceased, and I abandoned myself, leaving my cares forgotten among the lilies. Today I want to talk about faith, which is awkward for some of us, including me. And I want to quote Hebrews, which is interesting as well, 11:1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. That's one of the only places in the Bible that defines faith, and what isn't in that sentence is God. Faith in things unseen. So there is an openness to what love is and to what your understanding of God might be in this space today. It can be the caress of the wind through the cedars. It can be singing like we heard and how that moves through us. But we have been in a dark time. It feels as if we might be on the other side of what the pandemic was. It feels like this place is wakening back up, and our hearts are wakening up because of the equinox, and the sun has turned, and the earth is warm, and there's dew on the grass, and it is beloved. Times of darkness and dryness are what St. John of the Cross is referring to in the dark night of the soul. But that's kind of serious. Can I see our slide, please? I want to quote 3 prophets today. We're going to start with St. John of the Cross. I was raised and went to Catholic school. We'll be moving on to Our Lady of the Holler in a minute. And you know, if you were here last night, you know what's coming last. So that guy, Mr. Marley, O.M. So next slide, please. Let's start with a little Catholicism 101. I grew up in an Irish Catholic family in Appalachia. That's the weirdest sentence many people could say. And I was the version of what Unitarian Universalism is to anybody who doesn't get it in the context of the other kids I went to school with. And not only that, I went to catechism, which was Sunday school times 5. And so then my mom had the brilliant idea when I moved to Chillicothe, Ohio, to put me in Bishop Flaget Middle School. Now, at Bishop Flaget Middle School, we had the coolest priest ever, which I hope maybe I'm the coolest man. Anyway. And he taught us about the 7 sacraments. And sacraments are those rites of passage that we do, baptism and marriage and holy orders, which I didn't get to that one, kind of. And so he taught us about that, and he taught us about the holidays. And that's what brings me to where we are. It is a time, dare I say, of resurrection. All you have to do is see a bulb pop up out of the dirt to acknowledge that. It fits in many contexts. But what I learned in Catholic school, which was probably pretty scandalous, was that when the Catholic calendar was set, holidays were scheduled to line up with pagan holidays. Not because everybody was dying to go to Catholic Mass and hear things in Latin. No, because it lined up with the already existing celebrations in the world. And so the word Easter inherently is a borrowed word from Ostara, which is a pagan celebration. And on the cover of your order of service, you can see the pagan goddess. And she's got all the things. She's got the Easter eggs. She's got the bunnies. And it's about rebirth. And I found something very interesting about bunnies out this week. Apparently, they can get pregnant again before they even give birth. So that is an animal that represents new life and continuation, right? Eggs, obviously, right? And they're eggs. They're beautiful and they're interesting. St. John of the Cross was a Catholic Spanish mystic. He was a Carmelite. He lived in contemplative times, and he had a spiritual dryness that made him very, very angsty and mystic and uncomfortable. In this angsty, mystic uncomfortableness, he needed God. He needed a sign. And finally, after years, he woke up at night, as the poem stated, and had this filling of the beloved. Now, beloved can mean so many things, right? What is always a little scandalous to snickering catechism kids in Catholic school is there's a lot of erotic language folded into all this, like my lover's hair. You know, okay, St. John, I get you love God, all right. But it's also indicative of that feeling that we need to feel human, to feel real, to feel like we have a purpose. It's indicative of that. Sister Teresa, now Saint Teresa of Calcutta, I think she has a more formal name that I don't remember. I wasn't Catholic anymore when that happened. She had a dark night of the soul that lasted 45 years. She doubted her faith for 45 years, and she still was committed because she believed in something bigger than herself. When one of the popes died, she had this little respite from that. For 3 days, she felt God back in her heart, present all the time. And then it went away again. One of my most favorite quotes of hers is when people say, God won't give you what you can handle. And Mother Teresa famously said, well, I wish he didn't know I could handle so much. Can I see our next prophet, please? Do we have to do anything but just look at her beautiful face? Our Lady of the Holler, Slayer of Jolene, Mother of Butterflies, Patron Saint of Birthing, Champion of Literacy. Amen, right? Teacher of children, Her Royal Majesty Queen Dolly, first of her name. Did you know that in 1966 she got married? She's been married to the same person We don't hear about him. He's kind of shy. Guess where they got married? Does anybody know? Ringgold, Georgia, right? Like, we're each other's people. Come on now. I want to just say that song describes it so well. Everything's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. But what Dolly knew was that isn't because it's easy. Is it easy? It's been hard. It's been a long, dark night, right? And we're meant to fly like eagles. We're not meant to be cramped into our houses looking at tiny screens, craving connection. We are meant to be together, exploring what our own structure of the beloved is in our hearts. And I want to clarify what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about an existential crisis. That is more of a psychological approach to the same thing I'm talking about. What I'm talking about in the dark night of the soul is a spiritual crisis. You can contextualize that however you want. A crisis of the soul, a crisis of the heart, and it needs a different kind of healing than an existential crisis. It needs community. It needs singing. It needs gathering. It needs people coming together to do good and to love the world. The earth is my beloved. You all are my beloveds. Like, I don't need a structure of God from past Christianity to still have a belief that faith is important and my soul and my spirit are important. There's a joke about a man sitting on a roof in a flood. And a guy comes by in a boat and says, hey, I can get you out of here. And he's like, no, God's got me. Then a helicopter flies over and lowers the ladder. And he's like, I'm good. And he dies in the flood. It's terrible. And he goes to the pearly gates, as they say, and he asks, and he's like, why did I die? I thought you got me. And God said, well, I sent you a helicopter and a boat. Life's hard. It's going to be all right, as our next slide. Can I have my next slide, please? It's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. We can't worry about a thing, but that doesn't mean we don't have to do the work. And last night, the work got done in this church, just like it is this morning, right? Yes. People sang and performed and did impromptu art that was amazing. And oh my gosh, and I felt like I was in church. Maybe because I was here. Maybe because I was finally brave enough to belt out some Appalachian hillbilly music. I don't know, but it felt like the right place to be at the time. And what happened at the end was spectacular. What happened when the kids did the skit about their parents driving to the mountain was probably my favorite. But at the end, the band came together. I think they're forming the band around here kind of evolves, which is also why I love this church. And the band came together and we sang Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Now I want to point something out other than he's super cute. The OM, does anybody know what that stands for? Sort of. I think maybe. I forget. That's why I was asking. No, it's the fourth highest. It's like Mr. or Reverend. So and it's like the fourth highest designation given to people in Jamaica. This guy said, don't worry about a thing, but he knew how hard it was. He grew up in a third, as we would have called, a third world country. He grew up in a place where it was hard to be positive. But he knew that working hard would bring him joy and happiness. And if you don't think singers work hard, you're wrong. Like, that's a hard job. Charlotte, what about you? Is it a hard job? What about all my singers? That's hard work. It takes spiritual energy and letting go. I would dare say it takes faith to sing out loud, and to be proud of yourself when you do it, and to move other people. So as we're singing, of course, my behind jumps up and starts dancing around, and we all start jumping up and dancing around, and we start singing, "Every little thing's going to be all right." Let's sing it. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be all right. Okay, so you can't, yeah, keep singing if you want. I like some background music. It makes me feel important. But here's what we can't worry about. We can't worry, like in that story, about yesterday. We have to worry about what our next day is like, what our new beginning, what our bright blue morning is like. If we worry about, well, and I would say organize getting ready for instead of worry. Instead of using our hearts to regret, we can move into spaces where it is dang easy to love each other. When instead of looking at someone in judgment, we think of their beauty. When we lead with love and faith, whatever that means to us, we create that equinox, that turning into the sun, and grow as a community together. And I'll tell you what, this place is worth it, but I do still worry sometimes. It's inherent in our nature. It's inherent to worry. I think that worry is our little tap on the shoulder that we do need to do the work, right? We need to do the work of the people and do the work of love and the work of our mission. And I'm proud to be with all of you doing that work today. And which seems like I always have this awkward segue into the offertory, but today it works because we're leaning into the work of the day and we're using our treasure. We used our talent last night and a lot of it today. But it's a time for us to focus our treasure and our commitment to care for people, for the earth, for each other. And so, saying that, I would like to invite forward our guest speaker, who I've said, you get 5 minutes, which is kind of mean. Lily Sanchez from La Paz. Will you please come forward? Do we have a microphone? Oh, I found one. You good with holding it? All right, Lily, thank you. I think it's on. Is it on?
She's on.
All right, I'm going to get out of your way.
Thank you so much, everyone. This is my third or fourth time being able to speak to your congregation. My name is Lily Sanchez. As Reverend mentioned, I have the fortunate job to be able to go out and spread the word about this organization, La Paz Chattanooga. We've been in Chattanooga for almost 20 years. We're locally founded, and we work to empower and engage Chattanooga's Latino population, which has been growing at an incredible speed in the past few years. So our core pillars, our focus lenses, are to provide access to educational support and economic mobility, family stabilization, which is kind of the foundation of what we do, and then advocacy and placemaking, which is building connections with agencies and social service organizations to tailor their services and support to our community, because as many of you know, our Latino population has a unique set of needs and qualities that bring so much to this city, but they need a different kind of support. And so in our day-to-day, what it looks like is providing social service case management to our individuals and families who need help being stabilized, building connections with them and providing educational opportunities to mobilize them and to propel them forward, any sort of workforce development, education, and support that they need. And then, as I said, moving out into the community, building relationships in order to make Chattanooga a welcoming space for them, which I think they would be very welcome here. So I'm unable to stay after the service, but I have left some information material and some business cards, and I'm more than happy to connect with any of you individually if you would like to learn more and like to learn how you can get involved with our organization. So thank you so very much.
You get the prize for actually going 5 minutes. Like, I can't even do that. That's amazing. So part of our mission is to care. And this is an opportunity for us to lean into that caring. If you're new here or you're having a rough patch financially, let the offering plate pass you by. But if you want to support this organization, I encourage everyone to give lovingly and generously. And let's applaud for her one more time as she goes out the door. 100% of our offering goes to this organization. And any offerings that we receive for the next few days, there's a phone number. There's a phone number if you want to text to give. Every single thing goes to this organization. So please give generously, because I know how hard it is to have kids in school in Chattanooga, and English is my first language. So I appreciate you. The offering will be gratefully received. Thank you all so much for your generosity today. It really means a lot to all of us here. Please join me in our offertory response. We give these gifts freely, committed to our mission to care, create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth. To this work we dedicate our offerings. Where am I? Oh, I think we're going to sing. So I want to say before we sing, I say the title of this song, Nobody Gave Me the Earth. So you are allowed during this song to switch the language around. If you don't want to sing Sisters and Brother, if you want to change it all up, I just want to say it was the title that threw me. The words are beautiful, but we are a place where we can question. I'm not outing you. We can question things, and we have a freedom to do that. And I question many of the hymns in the hymnal. That's all I'll say. So
Freely.
change lyrics
Yes.
freely. And please rise in body and or spirit. The words will be on the screen, but also they are in the gray hymnal, number 207.
Earth was given as a garden cradle for humanity, tree of life,
excited. I said the words were good. They are. They're wonderful. They're wonderful. Right. And I knew the tune. Thank you. I'm growing and stretching by singing more hymns. So this is my favorite part of the service. It's called So What? And I would like to quote once more from the prophet Dolly. I'm just going to read these lyrics again because, gosh, I just need you to take them with you today. It's been a long, dark night, and I've been waiting for the morning. It's been a long, hard fight, but I see a brand new day is dawning. I've been looking for the sunshine. You know, I ain't seen it in so long. And everything's going to work out just fine. Everything's going to be all right. That's all been wrong. That is what faith is. Thank you all for joining us today. And I just appreciate being here this weekend. I won't be here next week, but I'll be back a lot after that. I want to invite, I'm having a forgetting moment. Bill Dornbush forward. Woo! I didn't write it down. I knew we had a change. To do our social justice moment. I believe we have a slide for that as well. There we go. It's Women's History Month. Yeah! Oh, Mike, I'm sorry.
Once I find the mic, I'll be okay. All right. Today, we're celebrating women who tell our stories. Throughout 2023, the National Women's History Alliance, which spearheaded the movement for March being declared National Women's History Month, has been encouraging recognition of women, past and present, who have been active in all forms of media and storytelling, including print, radio, TV, stage, screen, blogs, podcasts, and more. And preaching. The timely theme honors women in every community who have devoted their lives and talents to producing art, pursuing truth, and reflecting the human condition decade after decade. From the earliest storytellers through pioneering journalists, our experiences have been captured by a wide variety of artists and teachers. These include authors, songwriters, scholars, playwrights, performers, preachers, and grandmothers throughout time. Women have long been instrumental in passing on our heritage in word and in print, and in song, and in story. I'm just ad-libbing a little bit here. To communicate the lessons of those who came before us. Women's stories and the larger human story expand our understanding and strengthen our connections with each other. We encourage you to seek them out.
And before you go, will you please help us extinguish our chalice? Next slide, please. Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words, and let's say them loud because they're true. We extinguish this flame, but keep the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. And now it is your favorite time. It is announcements. Yes! All right, we're going to line up. Look, I ended early so we had time. There you go. Whoop. Come on, Jay. Oh.
This Friday, me and my friends over at the Dark Roast in North Shore are putting on a dubstep fundraiser for Chattanooga Room in the Inn. So it's $15 advance, $20 at the door. It's at, what time is it? 9 or 10, I think. But yeah, it's a good cause to support, and we're also going to put on a No Waste music festival next month.
Yeah.
Great program, Jay. So anybody who has questions, talk to Jay afterwards. Announcement time. So this coming week, on Monday, we have a stewardship planning meeting of some of our brave souls that are kicking off the stewardship campaign for this year. That's at 5:30. On Tuesday, there's the new suffragettes gathering at 5:30, while also stress that at the same time, you might have seen it in the newsletter this coming Friday, March 31st at noon, there's the Women's Suffrage March meeting at the Hamilton County Courthouse at noon, Friday 31st. Wednesday, it's the fifth Wednesday of the month. The irony is we don't either have a coffee or potluck time, even when we kicked it off on a fifth Sunday once. But now it's kind of, hey, we always have a covering from the first through the fourth. So not this week. So you guys just might have to invite each other to your guys' dinners and homes and for dinner. Then just maybe 2 announcements going forward over the next 2 weeks. Quarterly council meeting for all of the committee chairs, April 8th at 10 a.m. And then and as we kind of finished kind of our talent show last night, what's happening next month in month of April? The Passover Seder meal is going to be. Kind of think already about it, kind of put it in your calendar. Saturday, April the 15th at 6 p.m. Much more information will come about that. Last thing, just after the service, as Mandy was commenting, included Bob Marley, and as we had him kind of singing last night with our band, just if you stay long enough, I'll try to bring it up so you can see kind of a footage of more than a minute of excitement as people were singing and dancing last night to the Bob Marley song.
Oh, I almost flew off the stair. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, more announcements. Excellent. I was like, wow.
I just want to, excuse me, add in addition to what Christian said about the Passover Seder, we're having sign-up sheets in the back. I think they're there already. And Jen Horning has prepared a list of suggestions of things you can bring, but you can be as creative as you want. And it's a community gathering. It's a spiritual gathering. We celebrate one of our sources, which is Judaism. And it's a wonderful experience. If you haven't been to a Passover Seder, come to this one. If you have been to one, I know you'll be there. And I've got a frog in my throat. I'm sorry.
Also, an upcoming thing. First, I want to say you guys were so good last night at our talent show. Okay, I just want to get that out of the air. Okay, so and something completely different, we're starting a community yoga class here on Monday evenings. A lot of people have been asking about it, and it's about time it happened. So that's going to be, oh my gosh, April 10th, I think, is the Monday after Easter, right? Okay, so we're starting April 10th, and you'll get more information that's coming up soon. It'll be donation-based, so show up. We have some extra mats if you don't have one. 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is when we're starting it. It's a pilot program. We're going to see how it goes also. So if you're interested, talk to me or just show up on that Monday. Okay.
Hi, my name is Camille Mason. I'm the Director of Religious Education. I have 2 things. If you are like to volunteer in RE, I have a calendar from April to July, so 4 months of open spots if you are interested. To be an RE volunteer, you have to have a background check and be interested and be here at least 6 months as a member. Also, I have registration forms, so if you and your family have been coming a few times, if you wouldn't mind to fill out a registration form, it just helps me know about you and your family so that we can serve you the best we can. Thank you.
Yay. Okay, so we have sign-up sheets for greeting and stuff, but we're not having a little meeting, so you don't have to do that. Aw, hey, I have an idea. You know, we have this thing called a newsletter. Do you read it? You read it? Oh, I read it. There is always something going on around here, and just read the newsletter. It really helps you know when things are. It has a calendar. It talks about my office hours, and Farron and I are here on Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. Oh, I remembered when I was here. Excellent. What if I'm not signed up for the newsletter? I would like to point to my beloved assistant Farron, who will put you on the newsletter and you will get an email. But here's the trick. You have to actually open it and read it if you want to know what's going on. That would be my charge to all you. I'm kidding. Go read your newsletter. No. Thank you all so much for coming today. Thank you all for being part of shared community. Thank you for giving us this hour together to celebrate love, to celebrate each other, and to celebrate being good people in the world together. It's just amazing. Our service has ended. Let our service to the world begin.